Welcome to the Apex to Oval podcast, where we go over last week's news, we go over some races, and we have some fun. I'm Alex, your main host. I'm here with. Oh wait, I
Jack
don't know which way to
is
point because
rocking
I'm
the
half
New
screen,
York Yankees Paw Patrol hat today.
and I'm rocking the Oscar the Grouch beanie that my
Oh
sister made
yeah,
me.
only the best.
Only the best. So let's get right into the news. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, hopefully. In NASCAR, the first news that I have is Kyle Larson. He won the Barberville's Big Gator at Volusia Speedway Park. I thought it was kind of cool. I saw this. I was like, you want a Gold Gator? He finished third, second, first, and first in the races and took the overall win. Um, Kyle
Kyle
Larson being Kyle
Larson,
Larson.
Kyle Larson might just be the best driver on planet Earth.
Oh God, I think we just pissed off a lot of Max Verstappen fans.
Oh, I'm sure. But no, I mean this is a guy that wins everything he's in. I mean there is a
Yeah,
sizable there are a lot of people, himself included, that truly believe that he would hop in an F1 car and compete.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he could. I mean, the dude's ungodly talented. In everything he touches. So,
Oh yeah.
actually, it's a quick story. I was on someone's live. MJ, I forget their other handle, and then Andrea, I forget their full handle, but they're motorsports creators, and someone brought up the fact that they want Kyle Larson to win the Indy 500, and I'm like, I wouldn't, I wouldn't say he can't. He definitely could.
No,
But
yeah.
yeah, Kyle Larson just wins everything he
I mean he's
touches.
going for the double again this year. Hopefully the weather holds
He
up.
is. You know what? Screw it. Put me in the double. I can do it. Give me some training. I'll do it. McLaren.
I want you to try like Indy Lights first.
Yeah, let me race Haley Deegan. I'll do it. Dude, Haley Deegan, great driver. Love her. It's my favorite, one of my top three favorite driver of mine. No, that's genuinely serious. Actually really like Haley Deegan. Anyway, on to our next news story. Why are you looking at me like that?
I wasn't looking at you like
Oh, I
anything.
thought you gave me a look.
Nah.
Um, Carl Edwards, Ricky Rudd, and Ralph Moody got inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Here are some stats. Carl Edwards, 28 wins, 220 top 10s, and 22 poles, and got second place in the Cup in 2008 and 2011. Ricky Rudd had 23 wins, 374 top 10s, 29 poles, and got second place in the 1991 Cup Series. It might have been called, Jack, what was it called before the Cup Series?
Uh, I mean,
Winston.
yeah. Well, they were a bunch of
Winton.
different sponsors, right? But
Yeah, I think it was
the
around the time when the Winston Cup was
Cup
around.
Series is still the same. But yeah,
Yeah. And then Ralph Moody got 5 wins, 27 top 10s, and 5 poles as a driver, and was a very successful owner, having a team from 1957 to 1973, winning 2 titles in 1968 and 1969.
and I mean, notably David Pearson, right?
Yes.
Which,
I didn't even see him in this article, but yeah, sure.
as a driver for him, to be clear,
Yeah.
um, which that's a it's a heck of a legacy. Even if the titles
Yeah.
like weren't there numbers wise versus like a Petty, he clearly was up there everything else
Hmm.
wise.
Yep. And yeah. So that's your two NASCAR stories. I'm sorry. I keep trying to find good NASCAR stories. I can't find good enough NASCAR stories that I think like I might just put some random
Part
NASCAR
of
stories
it,
in there at some point.
well, part of it too is that this is what week 3 that we're doing this,
Yeah.
and a lot of silly season free agency happened
Hmm.
already, right? Like we're
Yeah.
in that lead up to the season where like
Hmm.
we can cover the off season, but realistically, that would be like a 3.5 4 hour ordeal to cover the whole off
Yeah.
season. And then especially this week, like what's really happening between the Clash and
Daytona.
Speed
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
Um,
I think also like the first week we did this podcast, I had like 17 different articles for NASCAR. Like if they just like spreaded that out a little bit, I could have had more content these
well, you
past 2 weeks.
also,
But yeah,
there were months of off season leading into it.
that is true. Um, Now into F1 news stories. We have the FIA considering shutting down the team radio and Formula One broadcasts. FIA President Ben Sulayem is trying to stop driver profanity by possibly getting rid of team radio on broadcasts. I think this is stupid. All right, and I'm going to give my just opinion the way it is. I know this is supposed to be a little bit journalistic. I don't care. This is the one thing I don't like. This is turned from bad to worse. Obviously, like I think it was last week maybe the first week we were talking about like a dictatorship of the FIA having like all these stupid bunch of rules they're adding on top of obviously no abuse, no hitting people, stuff like that. Yes, agree, but no swearing, no saying anything bad against the FIA or its sponsors. Like now it's possibly no driver radios on air, like on broadcast. Like that's not how this is supposed to be, and I have a feeling that if the FIA tests more things and, actually goes through with pulling more things away, more freedoms from the drivers, there will be a strike, and I will support it wholeheartedly. Um, but yeah, I think this is a really stupid thing they're trying to do. You know, they're adults. They're not kids. They're adults. They swear, they cuss, they bleep it out on broadcast.
Yeah.
So like why are we trying to get rid of the drivers expressing themselves?
And F1 does a hell of a lot better of a job of like sanitizing already than many other series, right?
Yeah. Like if I was an F1 driver, I would be screwed because I cuss a lot. I mean, I try not to cuss on
But
this,
also, if
I
you're
try not to cuss
driving,
on
you're
here and other.
gonna.
Yeah, like
Like, you're
it's the
going,
same thing with like soccer and football and baseball. Like you are in a
like,
high
you're
intensity
going
sport. You
200 miles an hour, inches apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
If the other guy screws up, you're gonna say he's a fucking idiot. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Don't kill me, FIA. But like, no, 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 no. But like, um, that's par for the course. I mean, obviously, I think if we're talking about like NASCAR, then you could see the argument that like, hey, let's stop playing the driver radios, even if it's bleeped out,
Yeah.
because it's like nonstop. But like, the F1 radios are already like clean.
Yeah, they're either clean or like they'll bleep out the cuss words. Like it's not like, they're saying F word or S like it's not like they're
And it's
swearing on live
even
television.
if
No,
they
they're
were,
bleeping it
that's a
still.
natural reaction to
Yeah.
like someone
Like
else screwing up at 200 miles an hour.
you don't think when I'm on the sim and I'm racing against Max Verstappen that I'm cussing at him the entire way through? Absolutely not. All right. I'm cussing him out on the sim. All right. All right.
I've heard you play NASCAR Heat.
Oh God. Oh, I get all southern when I play NASCAR Heat and I start cussing the storm.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Um, On to the next story. Netflix has open interest in holding the rights to Formula One in the United States. Netflix is strongly considering a bid for the live streaming rights to F1 in the US. Starting in 2026, the new deal is set to be more than $90 million a year, which is the current deal with ESPN in the US. Um, I personally, I'm on the fence. I don't know if I like this or if I don't. I think I'm very much in the middle at this point. If they do get the rights to the live broadcasts, I would like to see an American broadcast. I don't want to see Sky Sports. I want to see an American broadcast. First off, if anyone gets the rights, I want an actual American broadcast. I don't want minus the commercials, of course, because that's not how that's supposed to work. But I, I want announcers not that aren't biased. There's no Americans in F1 right now. Let's obviously the announcers are going to be biased towards British because it's Sky Sports, but you know I think if they do, are they going to paywall it behind a live streaming like thing? How are they going to do it? I don't know. Um, but I don't see this as a bad thing. Obviously, I wish ESPN kind of kept it if they don't keep it. Um, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have competition there, although it
Hmm.
doesn't look like they'll do a NASCAR type deal where they split the schedule. And honestly, with one of them being a streaming service, it's good that they don't split the schedule. Um, but I yeah, I think so. I really actually like the Sky Sports broadcast. I think that the presentation of F1 is one of its core strengths.
I'm
Um,
not saying it's bad. Let me just hold up. I'm not saying it's bad. I also really like the Sky Sports broadcast, but what I want more is like I want an option that like if we're at a race like Silverstone that is especially can be very biased towards the British drivers, it sometimes becomes unbearable to watch at certain points of the race. So I would like an American alternative that I can switch to if the bias is too much. But I do most of the time like the Sky Sports broadcast.
See,
Sometimes it can be a little bit too biased.
my issue is especially if the price of the rights is going to keep going up to broadcast
Hmm.
it. At what point does so I know that it's F1 that pushes the no commercial break stuff, but at what point do we
Yes,
get the same pattern that
like
we see
mini
in every other
in that.
racing series
Yeah.
presentation in the US? Where, like, what makes Sky Sports so refreshing, that broadcast so
Hmm.
refreshing in the US, is how European it is versus the American approach to broadcasting any kind of sporting event,
Hmm.
right? Um,
Yep.
and so as soon as you get like an American booth, how long until they have, they strike some kind of agreement to have side by side commercials, at least something like that, more promotion by the booth during the race kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I think that's also a really good thing about, F1 and Sky Sports is that, sorry, is that there are no commercials. I really like when there's no commercials. NASCAR. I mean, let's just talk about the Busch real quick. The Clash. Every time there was a commercial, something good happened.
That
Every
always
single
feels like the
time there
case.
was a commercial, it seemed like something happened to either be a crash or a really nice overtake, and they kept the commercials going like that. That pissed me off. It. I don't like how America does that stuff, but I don't know. I also think the announcers on Sky Sports are really good. Like, what is it, Brundle and Crofty? I think are the two on Sky Sports, and I think they're very good. The other thing that possibly could happen is um, like, oh, sorry, let me just mention this. So I saw on TikTok and stuff when the Netflix interest was first announced. I saw a bunch of like foreign F1 fans being like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna love this if they get it. I'm just gonna, because Netflix is cheaper than Sky Sports and all the packages. I'm just gonna go get a VPN and then go watch it on Netflix." So that's one thing I heard, which is, what do your own, to your own, I
We
guess.
also
But
don't know what's going to happen with Netflix's pricing because there's been a
yeah,
constant loop
exactly.
with any kind of streaming where, like, obviously streaming services, really Netflix alone for a while, and then,
Hmm.
Hulu maybe was a cheaper version of live TV, right?
Yep.
Of paying for
Yep.
cable. And then you have the TV streaming services like the YouTube TVs of the world that were cheaper than
Hmm.
traditional cable to cover these sorts of events. I mean, these are two different like sectors, but then you've seen with like TV shows and stuff, like with the Netflixes of the world, they splintered
Hmm.
back out. All of them are raising the prices. You have to have like 20 of them to watch everything. And suddenly we're right back to where we were with cable, right?
Hmm.
And, I, as a YouTube TV subscriber, I could tell you that YouTube TV's prices have kept crawling back up towards
Hmm.
where like traditional cable would be. And so then if we're starting another kind of cycle where we're going back to like now the streaming services are trying to be cheaper live TV,
Hmm.
I feel like it's only a matter of time that that becomes just as, if not more expensive. It's just a different company you're paying it to, and it's an app
Yeah.
instead of a box.
Yeah. Um, I think also what like, especially British people were saying was like, it Sky Sports is extra. Like you don't get that with just regular cable
Well, yeah, but
in the
that's it.
package. So,
I mean, it works different there than it does here, but yes.
yeah. But I think, we I hope just if Netflix gets it, just I hope they don't raise their prices too much. Also, I don't know how they would do that because do they not like they don't have live like shows and stuff, do they? I don't.
Netflix?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
like live
Um,
TV.
they've been working. They don't have like a 24/7 live stuff, but they've been doing live events.
Oh,
Obviously, NFL on Christmas was a big one. I think they've, if I remember right, they have like Monday Night Raw or something now.
are they really interesting? I
Um,
didn't know that.
something like that. Like they've been trying to get into live sports and live events in general. I think infamously
Okay.
they had that one boxing thing,
Hmm.
um, like with Tyson, where like the stream just like
Oh yeah,
sucked.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
It like didn't work. But then they did fix it, and their NFL presentation was actually not bad.
I did not watch it. I'm gonna be honest. You know, as a lifelong NFL fan, I have watched two games this year because I was just not having it. All right, and on to our third and final F1. Actually, I actually have one more that I've lined up. I didn't put it on here, but I'll go over it as well. Mercedes F1 driver Kimi Antonelli got his driver's license, and as my notes, I said he got his driver's license after becoming an F1 driver. It's stupid. I mean, it makes sense. Like, you know, um, with racing, you don't need a license because you're not on the like a driver's license. I mean, not you need a racing license, but you don't need a driver's license because you're not on the road. I just find it really funny that this man became an F1 driver, you know, officially before he got his driver's license. That's really funny to me.
It's always fun when stuff like that
It's
happens.
so funny because I
It's
know
like I
Max
always
did the
think it's
same thing
really
at one
funny
point.
when like a younger guy wins. Like in the US obviously with the drinking age being 21.
But
You
yeah,
got NASCAR, you got the whole crew like celebrating going crazy and then the guy's just standing there like
yeah, just the
like
same thing goes for
the
like
driver just can't
NBA.
celebrate. Oh yeah,
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 same
yeah.
thing with like the NBA because the NFL they're all like 21 as soon as they enter because
Well,
3 years
I feel
ago.
like that's
Like
how it
the
should be with pro sports. I mean, racing's a
yeah,
little different, obviously, but like
yeah.
the NBA is kind of rare in that it you can do just the one and done in college.
Well, also the MLB. I mean, the MLB doesn't even require you to go to college,
No, but
too.
you don't make the majors for years because they have
Of
really
course. I mean,
extensive
unless you're
development
like,
system.
Mike Trout. I forget his name, but the guy in the Phillies.
Harper, Bryce Harper.
Harper. I love Harper. All right. And one random thing that I have, Bianca Bustamante got dropped by McLaren. She spent 2 years in F1 Academy the past 2 years. And if you don't know about F1 Academy's rules, you only have 2 years of eligibility, and then you are kaput, whether you win or not. She did have a GB3, Great British 3, single seater seat as of now. But she got dropped by McLaren, which is interesting. I mean, she did underperform a little bit compared to like what I think McLaren probably had for her. She's still not a bad driver, still a good driver, but McLaren has officially dropped her. So, yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that? Were
I
you
don't really
aware?
have many thoughts. No, it's
No. Um,
one of those where it does feel weird in the sense that like she got dropped and her time in the series was up, and she's younger
mhm.
than us.
No, she's not.
Um,
She's 20. Oh God. Oh God. 2005?
but other than that, I don't really have many thoughts. I mean, I'm pretty sure if she doesn't already have another ride, she's gonna land in like an endurance series or GT series or
Yeah,
something. And
yeah, she's in Great British 3 currently for
okay,
this upcoming year. So she
so
does have a
yeah,
seat.
I mean that's what happens to a lot of you know F2, F3 type drivers that end up like without a ride. They go over there. Hopefully, she has success
Hmm.
there. I don't have any reason to wish anything but the best.
Yeah, I mean she's a good driver. It'll be fun to see her journey in GB3, and hopefully she can make it into the higher series. Um, yeah, I don't really got anything else about that. Okay, so on to the upcoming races this week. So, oh, actually, first off, let's quickly talk about. I didn't watch the Super Bowl at any point in time. Um, but Jack did.
I did.
So you are aware of the IndyCar and IndyCar commercials separate, comma, and Bubba Wallace commercial.
Actually, no.
Really? Okay. So they had a three IndyCar commercials during the Super Bowl. One of them was for Pato, of course. One of them was for Joseph Newgarden, of course, and I forget the other one.
I saw the Pato one before, but I didn't see it during. I am good at tuning out commercials though, which is kind of
You
a
are very good at
problem for
that.
the Super Bowl.
IndyCar commercial. Um,
God damn.
I know they had a Pato one. They had um a Joseph Newgarden. Hold on. Let me try to find the other one really quick. Um, maybe they have it on IndyCar. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, well, they had Joseph Newgarden. Oh yeah, they had this is okay. I'm gonna play this, and hopefully this doesn't. Hopefully that doesn't play in the thing. Um, they had a Pato Award. They had a Alex Pillow, and then Joseph Newgarden as well. Commercial, and then there was a Bubba Wallace commercial as well, which I really enjoyed the Bubba Wallace commercial.
Let's go.
It was just him in a McDonald's car, and the guy, his pit crew's like, "Hurry up, hurry up!" He's trying to order McDonald's. It's great because he's sponsored by McDonald's. If you didn't get it, um, but yeah, I think I really enjoyed the IndyCar. This is or Meet Fudge. What is it called? It's called This is Alex Blow, This is Pato Award, and This is Joseph Newgarden. I
Yeah, I
really enjoyed
think
those commercials. I think they were really fun. So,
that's something that, especially IndyCar, just because it has kind of a smaller footprint, but really every American sport. I was going to say
mhm.
motorsports, but I think it's an issue almost throughout all the sports is that they don't push their athletes enough. Like
No,
baseball's another key example where like you there isn't enough advertising that's centered around the athletes themselves. And they are the
of
main
course.
draw. But especially for like a motorsports series, I mean, the
Hmm.
reason that F1 has exploded in the US is from Drive to Survive and from people
Hmm.
caring about the drivers in whatever way they want to, whether they're like, super obsessed fanboy fangirl types or whether they just have certain drivers that they prefer. That's how you watch
Hmm.
motorsport,
Yeah.
right?
And I think them pushing the drivers was really fun. As someone who's going to be watching IndyCar this year, meeting three of the top drivers in the sport, I think was very a nice introduction. Um, yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, and then the Bubba commercial I think was really fun. Mostly because Bubba's my favorite NASCAR driver, but um, also because it's Bubba. That there's no difference between it's Bubba and him being my favorite driver. I just had to say it.
Just got to say it
Um,
twice.
I just gotta say it twice. But yeah, I think the commercials are really fun. I think they're a good way to show fans, give other sports fans, football fans, baseball fans, whatever, a chance to meet their drivers and possibly be a fan of the sport. So I think that's very good.
Yeah, and especially with
Yeah.
IndyCar, like that's the kind of thing where, the Indy 500 sells out, right? They get a ton of viewership
Hmm.
there. The rest of their season, the numbers are really low, and generally a lot of the drivers are not name brands. Where
Yeah.
even there's still a few NASCAR drivers that people recognize the name of.
Hmm.
IndyCar has really struggled with that. And so putting the marketing effort in not just to sell like a race coming up, like NASCAR with the Daytona 500, but to actually market your drivers and try to give people a reason to care instead of saying, "Hey, this is on TV," is great by them.
Yeah. I think also just want to put on where is it? Hold on. So I was told by this is the person who I mentioned earlier, MJ underscore Duffy. I posted on my motorsports accounts, who should I support in IndyCar this year? Because, my driver that I would have supported, Roman Grosjean, is a freaking reserve driver. I'm not happy right now. So I asked people, who do I support? I got two comments. It's better than none. Um, and someone said MJW said Joseph Newgarden. And then I always recommend cheering for Scott Dixon or one of the rookies in the field. Well, I don't know any of the rookies, so we're going for Joseph Newgarden
Yeah, I
and Scott
mean,
Dixon
Scott Dixon would be cool to
and Pat
see.
Olwin.
He's going for his eighth, right?
Yeah.
Although the chances are low at this point, it feels like. Um,
Seven?
but
Are you,
oh
dude?
wait,
How
no,
many?
I think he's
Why?
going for seven. I'm stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, he's going for seven. Chip Ganassi Racing, I know that.
Yes, used to have a
Um,
NASCAR team.
yeah.
Um,
Rest in peace.
but yeah,
But yeah, I mean, uh, uh,
the good
I'm
thing
probably
about
gonna
the
be a fan of
IndyCar
Scott
grid
Dixon.
is you can't really go wrong. I
Yeah,
mean,
I've heard it's
actually,
also
okay,
like
you actually very much can. I will say
you
if
want
you
to.
started rooting for oh, is he still even is he still in the
What's the
series in
name,
any
Jack?
capacity? Santino
What's the name?
Ferrucci. Yeah, he is. If you root for
Who is
him,
that?
I would cry. He's from Connecticut, but
Uh-huh.
I like to ignore that fact.
You like to ignore that fact. Is you look at a total just not.
Yeah,
Wait, this man is from Connecticut. Hold up. Oh my God, he's from Connecticut, and he raced in F3.
and F2, I thought.
Oh my God, he did for 2 years.
Yeah.
Heck? Interesting.
Um, but
Oh
yeah,
my
no,
God, he
almost
raced
the
the
entire rest
Xfinity.
of the grid is probably interesting to root for, at least.
I'm gonna ask you about this guy after this podcast. I don't know. Anyway, um, so let's get on to our races this week. Daytona Cup quali is Wednesday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern time. And then Truck and Xfinity quali are the same days as their races, um, as well. So duels at Daytona are Thursday at 7 and 8:45. The open cars are LaJoy.
Um,
I don't know how to say that.
do you want me to jump in? Do you know how
Yeah, I need
qualifying
to
for
jump
the
in
Daytona
here.
500 works?
I do. Okay, so I actually had to look this up because I'm writing an
Okay.
article about it for tomorrow. It's due tomorrow. It'll be posted on Wednesday, on dailycampus.com, on the sports.
But
Um,
yeah, so
but
you know
I
that
do
we
know how it
have
works.
45 cars going for 40 spots.
Yes,
36
and
of them are
five of
locked
those
in with charters.
spots, or yeah, four of them have to be
Well, so
uncharted.
36 cars have charters, then you have 9 quote unquote open cars fighting for the last 4 spots.
Yes.
Because having a charter gets you automatic entry to every race.
Yep.
Um, and so of those open cars, you have Corey LaJoy, Justin Allgaier, JJ Yaley, Martin Truex Jr., Anthony Alfredo, who's also
Correct.
from Connecticut, Chandler
Already
Smith,
miss.
BJ McLeod, Jimmy Johnson, and Elio Castroneves, right?
I'm rooting for Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex.
So of those, we have qualifying on Wednesday is
Hmm.
traditional. Well, you get one lap, but like
One
fastest
lap
speed
and
qualifying.
in the top
That
10.
qualifies you for the duels,
Yeah,
which are two
but
races where half of the field is in each one. And
mhm.
then the results of those races set the actual starting order for
From
the
inside
Daytona
and outside.
500, except for the I believe doesn't count as part of that,
So
right?
no, so what I found out was so the quality on Wednesday is one lap for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Then the top 10 drivers with the one lap, with the fastest one lap, will go to another qualifying where they get one
Oh,
more lap,
yeah.
and then the front row is decided. The top two of that are the front row. Then
Yep.
after that, there's two duels. The first duel is like 3, 5, 7, 9, 11,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just the inside numbers. And then the second duel is the outside numbers, so like 4, 6, 8, 10.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't include the second round of qualifying because that's just how NASCAR always does it, right?
Yeah,
Um at least some
but
variation of that. But
I'm
yeah.
learning.
So yeah, the results of the two duels set inside outside rows.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the open cars, of those nine, they're fighting for four spots. Technically, the order that it goes in is in each duel, the highest finishing open car makes the race.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then from there, it's settled from qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
In practice, that means that on Wednesday, the top two open cars in qualifying know that they're guaranteed to be in the race.
Mm-hmm.
Because worst case, they're 3 and 4 if they don't finish well in the duels, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, let's say whoever qualified the fastest also won their duel or placed highest in their duel, then an
Mm-hmm.
additional car from qualifying can get in. So it can be a
Yeah.
little complicated there, but otherwise it's easy enough to think of it as two from qualifying, one from each duel, and that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And then Castroneves specifically, there's a new provisional this year, with NASCAR trying to incentivize drivers from other series coming, where if he does not make the race, he can still enter as a 41 as a 41st car. His team wouldn't get any money for it, like any prize money or points, entering as the 41st car, but he would still be able to race. Um,
Okay.
which is why, like, he's going to still try to get in the normal way because obviously the team would like the money for entering and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But if he doesn't get in, he will race as the 41st car.
Yeah. Um, and on Friday there's the truck race at Daytona, obviously at 7:30 Eastern. Um, there's also the Formula E round three at Jeddah on the 14th at 12 p.m. Eastern. So you got two races that day. Saturday you have the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Daytona, obviously, at 5 p.m. Eastern. And also on that day is round four of the Formula E season, also at Jeddah at 5 p.m. Eastern. So do you know what I'm gonna be doing? Is I'm gonna be double screening. Actually, screw it. On my monitor, I'm gonna have Formula E, and on my computer, I'm gonna have um
Call him post
NASCAR,
games.
and that's how I'm gonna watch it. This is great. And then on Sunday, there's the Cup Series race, the Daytona 500 at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah,
Yeah. Did we make picks for the 500 last week?
we did not.
Who you got?
Oh wait, did we? I don't remember.
Hmm.
We might have. I think I said, but was that is that the one? No, we didn't. We made it in DMs, but we did not talk about it on the pod. Um, all right, so screw it. I'm going Bubba. I know I said in DMs that Bubba was not gonna do well. I'm going Bubba. I gotta believe and it will achieve. I gotta do it.
You know what? Let's go back to the couple year stretch where a random guy won it. Give me hmm. Let me double check. But from that 3 car Spire team, give me Justin Haley.
Oh.
Because yeah, McDowell is a former 500 winner who just moved to Spire, and Hocevar's
Mm-hmm.
run. I mean, he ran well as a rookie last year, and that team should be taking a good step forward. Haley
Mm-hmm.
has a Cup Series win at Daytona, I'm pretty sure, but it was like a rain race, kind of a random win. Um, but he is really good at super speedways. Um,
Mm.
so I think I'll pick him to get it done out of nowhere.
Yeah, his first win was at Daytona at the Coke Zero Sugar 400.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are our picks. Bubba Wallace, Justin Haley.
Of course, watch it be like Byron or like again or something.
God, I really hope. No, I don't want Byron. Dude, Hendrick can't have nice things right now. Not this early in the season. They're gonna dominate probably, but I can't have them having nice things early in the season. I need my mental health to be nice and good for college. June comes around, Hendricks win every race. I don't care. Right? I do not care. Just let me have to like the beginning, middle of May. Finals are done. and then you can have your fun. So my mental health can be all right during the school year. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Hendrix. I appreciate it. Jack, whoa, I, Jack's playing video games now. All right. The pod is
I'm
over.
doing what?
The pod is over. The pod's done tonight.
I did
Jack,
no such thing.
Jack is playing Idle Champions right now.
That's a clicker idle game. What do
He's
you
playing games right now.
mean? That's open in the background. It's not even
I
on
don't
my
have
screen.
I also don't have anything else to talk about right now. So I'm
I'm
assuming you
gonna
want to make
share my screen. You'll see that it's this tab that we're recording on, and it's a tab of Google Docs, so that I have a white little thing to light up my face a little more because the lighting is right above my head and it sucks. You know what's not on my screen? Friggin' clicker D&D game that's open on my taskbar.
Oh my God. All right. Well, that's the pod. It's a short one
Wait,
tonight.
you
I'm
know
gonna try
what?
to make it.
Before we go, one more prediction.
All right.
Feeling chaotic.
All right. Let's hear it.
I want you to name 2 drivers that are going to DNF in the 500.
Kyle Larson is one. He can't have nice things. That's it. That's all I need to say. Just Kyle
Kyle
Larson.
Larson twice.
Kyle Larson twice. He's gonna DNF. He's gonna DNF in the duel. He's gonna come back on race day, and then DNF again. It's gonna be a good old time. Kyle Larson double DNF.
You know what? I'll make it triple. I'll say Larson for 1, just because I think it would be funny.
I think it'd be so funny if
Um,
we just called Kyle Larson DNFing.
and then
He's gonna get like 10 wins this season. It's gonna be fine. He'll be fine.
give me Brad, because not that I think. Well, keep in mind this is super speedway racing, so that's just a product of he's racing near the front, and he's just gonna
How
get caught up
dare
in
you?
something.
It's Brad Keselowski. How dare you?
How dare I? What?
It's
What?
Brad Keselowski. It's Brad
What?
Keselowski. It's
What?
Brad Keselowski.
What?
He's age 40. Let him not DNF, man.
Okay, fine. Then I pick Denny.
No. Pick another one. Pick another one. This is your third and final pick. Pick a different one.
Third and final, and it's actually the 4th. Martin Truex. No,
Oh,
I was just trying to think of older drivers because I'm not confident
Jimmy
Jimmy makes it.
Johnson.
I don't know if
What?
he makes the. I don't know if he makes the race.
Shut up. Shut up. Dude, I don't think I've ever watched Jimmy Johnson race before. No, he raced last season. Of course I've seen him race, but I haven't like fully realized it yet. So he needs to make it so I'm fully aware. Dude, it's funny that Jimmy Johnson is a 7-time world champion and a Super Bowl winning head coach.
It is crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy, ain't it?
Isn't it wild that Jimmy Johnson and Joe Gibbs were
Some of the greatest
going up
coaches
against
of
each other
our
in
time.
NASCAR?
Yeah. They go against each other in NASCAR and they went against each other in the NFL.
Crazy,
No,
isn't
they
it?
didn't. No, yeah, they did. They had to at some point. Yeah, that is crazy. Jimmy Johnson. Yeah. Also, did you see Lena got a new haircut? I know that's not really that newsworthy. I mean, to some people it's more newsworthy than others, but Lena got a new haircut.
I did not, but that's
Him
not
and
really
Max
how I
Fruel
follow.
over now. I think his name is Fruel. I don't. Max, I'll learn your name. Him and his best friend, right? They got the same haircut. They look the same from behind and from the side.
Neat.
Just quite funny. Yeah, they both got mullets. Dude, what if I just, I come home one day in the summer and I just have a mullet. What would you do?
Join you.
Yo, I'm doing it. All right. Thank you guys for watching the pod. You heard it here first. Me and Jack are getting mullets. This is Alex. That's Jack. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing night
Bye.
or morning or afternoon.